Matty Ice Cards. Let me get you logged in here. We'll do the first 5 minutes. Then I already added 2 points for the people that showed up for yesterday that did not. So you got 2 bonus points, everybody, for yesterday. Matty Ice Cards is in the house. God is Great's in the house. I'll just give you another 2 points. 2 entries for being here. And let's go with Matty Ice Cards. Don't forget to give me the thummies up today. Right? So we got, what do we got? Matty Ice, God is Great. Chuck's here. We get Chuck in here. Chuck, I'll get you in for a 2+ here today. Chuck, God is Great. Matty Ice, God is Great. Matty, Chuck. God is Great. Go Dodgers. Yes, go Dodgers. They won the World Series last night. That is awesome. Shohei Ohtani got his first World Series ring. That's pretty cool. I was rooting for the Dodgers last night, and they did it. We're down 5-0 at the start of the game and came back and won. I think it was 7-5, wasn't it? It's 5 a.m. here in the land of the rising sun. That's right. It's November 1st there, isn't it? We're still in October. It's Halloween tonight here. But we will go to 105 and we'll go into our first of 2 videos today. I'll just keep the tally sheet going for the second video when we do get in here. We are starting today with 650 entries through Wednesday. And that does put us with 6 prizes on the October-November giveaway. As soon as my computer says it's 105, we get our there we go. We're ending the early bird. So whoever got in here yesterday and today in the first 5 minutes, we got Space Case, Semi Truck, Matty Ice, God is Great, Dragon Fan Tim, Cops, Chuck, and Big Ray's ball cards along with Bernie H. Do me a favor too and keep Bernie in your prayers. His mother-in-law passed away a couple days ago. So they're grieving the loss of his wife's mom. So please keep them in your prayers if you can. And we will get rolling along here with our 2 trivias, the one from yesterday. Then we'll do the other trivia in the second live stream. I was almost going to do it now. I'm like, no, that's right. We got to do it in the second stream. So let's get this show on the road here, because as soon as we finish this live stream at 2 or 3, depending on when we finish, I think we'll do 1 round of the score treats, and then we'll finish off this box in the second stream. Okay, because I want to keep this one a little bit slower. If we can get this done before 2, maybe we'll start the second stream right at 2 for Ruby Waddell. Okay, so our trivia for today is name the pitcher who didn't contribute to the Astros' joint no-hitter in the 2022 World Series. Okay, so it's World Series. Name the pitcher who didn't contribute to the Astros joint no-hitter in the 2022 World Series. The baseball birthdays for yesterday, Wednesday, October 30th, 2024, were Bill Terry, Ed Delahanty, Joe Adcock, and Jim Perry. But one more time, and then I'll give the answers. Whoever gets the correct answer first will get 5 entries in the October-November giveaway. Name the pitcher who didn't contribute to the Astros' joint no-hitter in the 2022 World Series. Was it A, Christian Javier? Is it B, Brian Abreu? Is it C, Rafael Montero? Is it D, Ryan Presley? Or is it E, Lance McCullers Jr.? Go ahead and give your answer now. Kyle Bush fan, how you doing there, Kyle? Thanks for popping in here. Matty Ice says E, and he is correct. Matty Ice got that one right. Lance McCullers Jr. Read what it says on the back here. E, McCullers Jr. started and lost Game 3. In Game 4, Javier started, tossed 6 innings, and struck out 9 to begin the joint no-hitter. Matty says it's rigged. Okay, there we go. You got that, Matty Ice cards for the 5-point trivia. We will do the end of stream bonuses too. And then if you join in with the next one after that, we'll go from there. Let me just set this off to the side here for now. We're going to get in and do Bill VEECK's biography here. And then as soon as we're done with this, we'll do one round of score treats. So we'll get 2 from each stack. Okay, that'll give us 8, and then we'll see if we can find those very hard to find insert cards, the short print cards for sure, because they are very hard to find. Let me get a sip of water real quick here, and we'll get into Bill VEECK's biography. So we're going to move right along here so that hopefully I can edit the stream and start the next one at 2 o'clock instead of 3. That would help me out immensely. Okay, Bill VEECK. William Lewis VEECK Jr. was born February 9th, 1914 and passed away on January 2nd, 1986 at the age of 71. Also known as Sport Shirt Bill and Wow Bill, was an American Major League Baseball franchise owner and promoter. VEECK was at various times the owner of the Cleveland Indians, the St. Louis Browns, and the Chicago White Sox. VEECK was the last owner to purchase a baseball franchise without an independent fortune, and is responsible for many innovations and contributions to baseball. As owner and team president of the Indians in 1947, VEECK signed Larry Doby, thus beginning the integration of the American League, and the following year won a World Series title. Unable to compete in the new era of salary escalation ignited by arbitration and free agency, VEECK sold his ownership interests in the White Sox after the 1980 season. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame posthumously in 1991. Okay, we got Dragon Fan Tim in here already. Hope everyone's having a great day. Cards in my car with Harpo Sada. Let's see what we're missing in here in the C's. Right. Then Chuck, Matty Ice, cards. Dragon Fan Tim I've got listed on here from yesterday. He's good to go. Chuck, Dragon Fan cards. There we go. Let me continue on with our biography and get this ball rolling here. As far as his early life, Bill Veeck was born February 9th, 1914, in Chicago. While Veeck was growing up in Hinsdale, Illinois, his father, William Veeck Sr., became president of the Chicago Cubs. Veeck Sr. was a local sports writer who wrote numerous columns about how he would run the Cubs differently. And the team's owner, William Wrigley Jr., took him up on the implied offer. While growing up, the younger Veeck worked as a popcorn vendor for the Cubs and also as a part-time concession salesman for the crosstown Chicago White Sox. Later, in 1937, he came up with the idea of planting ivy on the walls of Wrigley Field. Veeck attended Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts. In 1933, when his father died, Veeck left Kenyon College and eventually became club treasurer for the Cubs. In 1935, he married his first wife, Eleanor. As far as a franchise owner, minor league baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers. In 1940, Veeck left Chicago and in a syndicate with the former Cubs star manager Charlie Grimm, purchased the then struggling AAA Milwaukee Brewers of the American Association. After winning 3 pennants in 5 seasons, Veeck sold his Milwaukee franchise in 1945 for a $275,000 profit. According to his autobiography, Veeck in Reek, Veeck claimed to have installed a screen to make the right field target a little more difficult for left-handed pull hitters of the opposing team. The screen was on wheels, so any given day it might be in place or not, depending on the batting strength of the opposing team. There was no rule against that activity as such, but Veeck then took it to an extreme, rolling it out when the opponents batted and pulling it back when the Brewers batted. Veeck reported that the league passed a rule against it the very next day. However, extensive research by 2 members of the Society for American Baseball Research suggests that this story was made up or certainly exaggerated by Veeck. The 2 researchers could not find any references to a movable fence or any reference to the gear required for a movable fence to work. While co-owner of the Brewers, Veeck served for nearly 3 years in the United States Marine Corps. During World War II, in an artillery unit, during this time, a recoiling artillery piece crushed his right leg, requiring amputation, first of the foot and shortly after of the leg above the knee. Over the course of his life, he had 36 operations on the leg. He had a series of wooden legs and, as an inveterate smoker, cut holes in them to use as ashtrays. Veeck also used the wooden leg in props such as a recreation of Ionic Revolutionary War soldiers during the bicentennial year of 1976. At other times, engaged in intensive trade talks with competing owners, Veeck would complain that they were demanding an arm and a leg in negotiations, then unbuckle the leg and throw it on the desktop for dramatic effect. Yo, Space Case, cards in my car, dragon. There we go. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Don't forget, thummies up, thummies up, thummies up for me. As far as Major League Baseball, attempted purchase of the Philadelphia Phillies. Veeck had been a fan of the Negro League since his early teens. He had also admired Abe Saperstein's Harlem Globetrotters basketball team, which was based in Chicago. Saperstein saved Veeck from financial disaster early on in Milwaukee by giving him the right to promote the Globetrotters in the upper Midwest in the winter of 1941 and 42. In the fall of 1942, met with Jerry Nugent, president of the Philadelphia Phillies, to discuss the possibility of buying the struggling National League team. He later wrote in his memoirs that he intended to buy the Phillies and stock the team's roster with stars from the Negro Leagues. Although no formal rules barred African American players from the majors, none had appeared in organized baseball since the 1890s. Veeck quickly secured financing to buy the Phillies and agreed in principle to buy the team from Nugent. While on his way to Philadelphia to close on the purchase, VEECK decided to alert MLB Commissioner Kenesaw Mountain Landis of his intentions. VEECK did not believe Landis would dare say black players were unwelcome while blacks were fighting in World War II. However, when VEECK arrived in Philadelphia, he was surprised to discover that the National League had taken over the Phillies and was seeking a new owner. The Phillies were ultimately sold to lumber baron William D. Cox. The authors of a controversial article in 1998 issue of SABR's the National Pastime argued that VEECK invented the story of buying the Phillies and filling their roster with Negro Leaguers, claiming Philadelphia's black press made no mention of a prospective sale to VEECK. Subsequently, the article was criticized by historian Jules Taijo, who received it point by point in an article in the 2006 issue of SABR's the Baseball Research Journal, and in an appendix entitled "Did Bill VEECK Lie About His Plan to Purchase the 43 Phillies?" published in Paul Dixon's biography, Bill VEECK's Baseball's Greatest Maverick. In the SABR article, Tygel explained that VEECK and others had mentioned the alleged scheme to buy and stock the Phillies up to 15 years before the publication of VEECK's memoir, but conceded that in all of these accounts, the only voice telling the story remains is VEECK's. The Tygel article also conceded the overall assessment of Jordan et al. That VEECK's notion of buying the Phillies and fielding a team of Negro League stars never quite moved as far from the drawing board as VEECK claimed may still be true. We still lack any solid evidence that confirms that VEECK had not only conceptualized this action, but made it a firm offer to buy the Phillies and met a rebuff by Landis and then National League President Ford Frick. Then on to the Cleveland Indians. Let me get a sip of water here real quick. Do a refresh on the chat. Do a refresh on the stream. Right? So on to the Cleveland Indians. In 1946, having sold his interest in the Class AAA Milwaukee Brewers, VEECK became the owner of a major league team, the Cleveland Indians. He immediately put all the team's games on radio. Previously, only limited games had been broadcast. He also moved the team to Cleveland Municipal Stadium permanently in 1947. The team had split their games between the larger Municipal Stadium and the smaller League Park since the 1930s. However, VEECK concluded that League Park, which had been built for its final form in 1910, was far too small and deteriorated to be viable. Okay. In July of that year, he signed Larry Doby, the first black player to play in the American League. Doby's first game was on July 5th, and before the game, Doby was introduced to his teammates by player-manager Lou Bordeaux. One by one, Lou introduced me to each player. This is Joe Gordon, and Joe Gordon put his hand out. This is Bob Lehman, and Lehman put his hand out. This is Jim Hagan, and Hagan put his hand out. All the guys put their hand out but three. As soon as he could, Bill VEECK got rid of those three, and Doby said the following year, VEECK signed Satchel Paige to a contract making him the oldest rookie ever in Major League Baseball history. To take advantage of the large size of Cleveland's Municipal Stadium, VEECK had a portable center field fence installed in 1947, which he could move in or out depending on how the distance favored the Indians against their opponents in a given series. The fence moved as much as 15 feet between the series opponents. Following the 1947 season, the American League countered with a rule change that fixed the distance of an outfield wall for the duration of a season. As in Milwaukee, VEECK took a unique approach to promotions, hiring Max Patkin, the clown prince of baseball, as a coach. Patkin's appearance in the coaching box delighted fans and infuriated the front office of the American League. Although VEECK had become extremely popular in an attempt in 1947 to trade Bordeaux to the St. Louis Browns, led to mass protests and petitions supporting Bordeaux. VEECK, in response, said he would listen to the fans and re-signed Bordeaux to a new 2-year contract. VEECK claimed that later that the trade talks had already broken down before they became public, but he seized the opportunity to promote the concept. He had dropped the ideal of the trade in response to public outcry. By 1948, led by Bordeaux's .355 batting average, Cleveland won its first pennant in World Series since 1920. As of 2023, this remains the team's, now known as the Guardians, last World Series title. Famously, the following season, VEECK buried the 1948 flag once it became mathematically certain the team could not repeat its championship in 1949. Later that year, VEECK's first wife, Eleanor, filed for divorce. Most of his money was tied up in the Indians, so he was forced to sell the team to fund the divorce settlement. 1 year later, in 1950, VEECK married his second wife, Mary Frances Ackerman. He had met her the previous year while in Cleveland. As far as the St. Louis Browns. After his second marriage, VEECK bought an 80% stake in the St. Louis Browns in 1951, hoping to force the National League's St. Louis Cardinals out of town. VEECK hired Cardinal greats Rogers Hornsby and Martin Marion as managers, and Dizzy Dean as an announcer, and he decorated their shared home park, Sportsman's Park, exclusively with Browns memorabilia. Ironically, the Cardinals had been the Browns' tenant since 1920, even though they had long since passed the Browns as the St. Louis's favorite team. Some of VEECK's most memorable publicity stunts occurred during his tenure with the Browns, including the appearance on August 19, 1951 by Eddie Goodell, who had dwarfism and stood 3 feet 7 inches tall and is the shortest person to appear in a Major League Baseball game. VEECK sent Goodell to pinch hit in the bottom of the first inning of the second game of a doubleheader, wearing 1/8 as his uniform. Goodell was walked on 4 straight pitches and then was pulled for a pinch runner. Shortly afterwards, Grandstand Managers Day, involving VEECK, Connie Mack, and thousands of regular fans, enabled the crowd to vote in various in-game strategic decisions. For example, a steal, a bunt, change pitchers, by holding up placards. The Browns won 5-3, snapping a 4-game losing streak. After the 1952 season, VEECK suggested that the American League clubs share the radios and television revenue with visiting clubs, a proposal anathema to the powerful Yankees, whose broadcasting revenues dwarfed all other franchises. Outvoted, and he refused to allow Browns opponents to broadcast games played against his team on the road. The league responded by eliminating the lucrative Friday night games in St. Louis. A year later, Cardinals owner Fred Sage was convinced of tax evasion. Facing certain banishment from baseball, he was forced to put the Cardinals up for sale. At first, the only credible offer came from out-of-town interests, and it appeared that VEECK would succeed in driving the Cardinals out of town. However, just as Sage was about to sell the Cardinals to interests who would have moved them to Houston, Texas, he instead accepted a much lower bid from St. Louis based brewing giant Anheuser-Busch, who entered the picture with specific intent of keeping the Cardinals in town. It has long been claimed that Sage was persuaded to accept Anheuser-Busch's bid more out of civic duty than money. However, according to Anheuser-Busch historian William Knutzletter, Sage's first preference all along was to sell the Cardinals to interests who would keep the team in St. Louis. What is beyond dispute is that as soon as Anheuser-Busch closed on its purchase of the Cardinals, VEECK knew he was finished in St. Louis. He quickly realized that with Anheuser-Busch's wealth behind them, the Cardinals now had more financial resources than he could begin to match, especially since he had no other source of income. Reluctantly, he decided to move the Browns elsewhere. As a preliminary step, he sold Sportsman's Park to the Cardinals, who would eventually rename it as the first incarnation of Busch Stadium. At first, VEECK considered moving the Browns back to Milwaukee, where they had played their inaugural season in 1901. Milwaukee recently built Milwaukee County Stadium in an attempt to entice a major league franchise. However, the decision was in the hands of the Boston Braves, the parent team of the Brewers. Under major league rules of the time, the Braves held the major league rights to Milwaukee. The Braves wanted another team with that same talent if the Brewers were shut down, and an agreement was not made in time for the start of the 1953 season. Ironically, a few weeks later, the Braves themselves moved to Milwaukee. The St. Louis was known to want the team to stay, so in some St. Louis campaigned for the removal of VEECK. Undaunted, VEECK got in touch with a group that was looking to bring Major League franchise to Baltimore, Maryland. After the 1953 season, VEECK agreed in principle to sell half his stock to a Baltimore attorney, Clarence Miles, the front man of the Baltimore group, and his other partners. He would have remained the principal owner with approximately 40% interest, even though the league president, Will Harridge, told him approval was certain. Only 4 owners, 2 short of the necessary 6 for passage, supported it. Realizing the other owners simply wanted him out of the picture, indeed, he was facing threats of having his franchise canceled. VEECK agreed to sell his entire stake to Miles's group, who then moved the Browns to Baltimore, where they were renamed as the Orioles, which has been their name ever since. Next, we're moving into the Chicago White Sox era. Okay. As far as the Chicago White Sox taking advantage of interfamilial friction with Kaminsky family, in 1959, VEECK became head of a group that purchased the controlling interest in the Chicago White Sox. Following VEECK's acquisition of the team, the White Sox went on to win their first pennant in 40 years. That year, the White Sox broke the team attendance record for home games with 1.4 million fans. The next year, the team broke the same record with 1.6 million visitors to Comiskey Park, with the addition of the first exploding scoreboard in the major leagues, producing electrical and sound effects, and shooting fireworks whenever the White Sox hit a home run. The exploding scoreboard was carried over to the new Comiskey Park, now Guaranteed Rate Field, when it opened in 1991. 1 year later, in 1960, VEECK and former Detroit Tigers great Hank Greenberg, his partner with the Indians and White Sox, reportedly made a strong bid for the American League expansion franchise in Los Angeles. Greenberg would have been the principal owner, with VEECK as a minority partner. However, the Los Angeles Dodgers owner, Walter O'Malley, was not willing to compete with a team owned by VEECK. even if he would only be a minority partner. When O'Malley heard of the deal, he invoked his exclusive franchise rights for Southern California. Any potential owner of an American League team in the area would have had to have O'Malley's approval, and it was apparent that O'Malley would not allow any team to set up shop with VEECK as a major shareholder, rather than to persuade his friend to back out. Greenberg abandoned his bid for what became the Los Angeles Angels. In 1961, second, due to poor health, Veeck sold his share of the White Sox to John and Arthur Allen for $2.5 million. After selling the White Sox, Veeck worked intermittently as a television commentator for ABC. Veeck then moved to the eastern shore of Maryland with his family to convalesce. When his health improved, Veeck made an unsuccessful attempt to buy the Washington Senators, then operated by Suffolk Downs Racetrack in Boston in 1969 and 70. He also tried to buy the Baltimore Orioles in 1974, but failed due to troubles with the IRS. Veeck was not heard of from again in baseball ownership circles until 1975, when he repurchased the White Sox from John Allen, sole owner since 1969. Veeck's return ranked baseball's establishment, most owners viewing him as a parish after exposing industry politics and maneuvering in his 1961 book, VEECK as in Wreck. The owners were also unhappy with Veeck's extensive favorable discussion of the 1964 purchase of the New York Yankees by CBS in 1965. The Hustler's Handbook, a move Veeck felt exposed MLB to dangerous antitrust liabilities and endangered the antitrust exemption established in 1922 ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. The White Sox were slated to move to Seattle, Washington, for the amount of $14 million, while Charlie O. Finley planned to move his Oakland Athletics to Chicago. However, it was Andy McKenna who approached Veeck about the possibility of returning home to Chicago, which got Veeck to assemble an ownership group to make an offer for the team. On December 16, 1975, Veeck's group purchased the team from Allen. Almost immediately after resuming control of the Sox, Veeck unleashed another publicity stunt. He and general manager Roland Heumann conducted 4 trades in a hotel lobby in full view of the public. Other owners considered this undignified. 2 weeks later, however, arbitrator Peter Seitz's ruling struck down the reserve clause and ushered in an era of free agency, leading to dramatic increases in player salaries. Ironically, Veeck had been the only baseball owner to testify in support of Curt Flood during his landmark court case, in which Flood attempted to gain free agency after being traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. Veeck had proposed a gradual transition to free agent system in which players would gain free agency rights after a certain amount of service time. The owners gambled that Seitz would rule in their favor and maintain the reserve clause. He did not. On the field, Veeck presented a bicentennial-themed Spirit of 76 parade on opening day in 1976, casting himself as the peg-leg lift Pfeiffer, bringing up the rear. In the same year, he reactivated Minnie Minoso for 8 at-bats in order to give Minnie Minoso a claim towards playing in 4 decades. He did so again in 1980 to expand the claim to 5. He also unveiled radically altered uniforms for the players, including clam digger pants and even shorts, since the Sox wore for the first time against Kansas City Royals on August 8, 1976. In an attempt to free agency, he developed a rent-a-player model centering on the acquisition of other clubs' stars in their option years. The gambit was moderately successful. In 1977, the White Sox won 90 games and finished in third place with additions such as Oscar Gamble and Richie Zisk. During his last run, VEECK decided to have an announcer, Harry Carey, sing "Take Me Out to the Ballgame." During the seventh inning stretch, VEECK asked Carey to sing for the entire park, but he refused. VEECK replied that he already had a recording, so Carey would be heard either way. Carey reluctantly agreed to sing it live, accompanied by the White Sox organist Nancy Faust, and went on to become famous for singing the tune, continuing to do that at Wrigley Field after becoming a broadcaster of the Chicago Cubs in 1982. This tradition has continued since, even with the death of Carey in 1998. The 1979 season was filled with more promotions. On April 10th, he offered fans free admission for the day after a 10-2 opening day defeat by the Toronto Blue Jays. On July 12th, VEECK, with assistance from son Mike and radio personality Steve Dahl, held one of the most infamous promotions, Disco Demolition Night, between games of a doubleheader, which resulted in a riot at Comiskey Park and a forfeit to the visiting Detroit Tigers. Life after baseball. Finding himself no longer able to financially compete in the free agent era, VEECK sold the White Sox in January 1981, albeit not without controversy, as his first choice in Edward J. DeBartolo Jr., owner of the NHL's Pittsburgh Penguins and the NFL's San Francisco 49ers, was rejected by a league vote, 8 votes in favor with 10 required to pass. VEECK then sold the Sox to his second choice, Jimmy Reinsdorf, and partner Eddie Einhorn for $20 million. When Einhorn stated his desire to make the White Sox a high-class operation, VEECK publicly transferred his allegiance back to the Chicago Cubs, the team his father had operated in his youth. At any rate, when the White Sox won the 2005 World Series, the VEECK family received championship rings from the organization. VEECK retired to his home in Chicago, but in summer could often be found in the Wrigley Field bleachers. VEECK also wrote occasional articles for magazines and newspapers, usually opining on the overall state of baseball. As far as his declining health and death, VEECK had been a very heavy smoker and drinker until 1980. In 1984, VEECK underwent 2 operations for lung cancer. 2 years later, on the day after New Year's Day, 1986, he died at the age of 71 from cancer. He was posthumously elected 5 years later to the Baseball Hall of Fame. VEECK was survived by his wife, Mary Frances, and 8 of his 9 children. 2 of the surviving children, Peter and Ellen, were from his first marriage, and the others, Mike, Maria, Greg, Lisa, Julie, and Chris, were from his second marriage. He was predeceased by his eldest child, William III, who died in 1985. His body was cremated. Mike VEECK became a minor league independent baseball executive and was the co-founder of the St. Paul Saints, a successful charter member of the Northern League. The younger VEECK emulated many of VEECK's promotional stunts with the Saints. Greg VEECK earned a PhD at the University of Georgia in 1988 and is a geography professor at Western Michigan University, focusing on urban geology and East Africa. So there you have it. Bill VEECK's biography. Go over his information for his induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Bill VEECK was, again, an executive. In 1944, he recuperated from his World War II injuries. He was born William Lewis VEECK Jr., February 9, 1914, in Chicago, Illinois. He died January 2nd, 1986, at the age of 71, Chicago, Illinois. Kenyon College, he did not graduate. Eleanor Raymond, married in 1935 and divorced in 1949. And then Mary Frances Ackerman and him got married in 1950. 9 children, including Mike. William S. VEECK Sr. was his father, and Grace DeForest was his mother. His baseball career highlights and awards: World Series champion in 1948, signed Larry Doby to the Indians and helped integrate the American League in 1947, and the Cleveland Guardians Hall of Fame. He's a member of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, inducted in 1991 via the Veterans Committee. So there you go, Bill VEECK, your Hall of Famer for today. Okay. I think on here, what we got? Yeah, I could read it real quick. The owner of Indians, Browns, and White Sox created heightened fan interest at every stop with the ingenious promotional schemes, fan participation, exploding scoreboard, outrageous door prizes, names on the uniforms, set major league attendance in record with pennant winner at Cleveland in 1948, won again with Go-Go Sox in 1959, signed the American League's first black player, Larry Doby, in 1947, and oldest rookie, 42 years old, Satchel Paige, in 1948. A champion of the little guy. There you go. That is Bill VEECK. Okay. Let me get ready for get this ready here. Okay. Here's StreamYard. All right. Let's go in here real quick. We got, what is it, 145. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Let me get these all marked up, and then we'll see if God is Great is here. We can have the kids choose numbers 1 through 8. We'll do it this way this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it is Halloween here in the States. 5, 6, 9. Need one more. 9, 7. What are there? 9 kids? 8. Okay, Chuck says, okay, so we'll have the kids choose 8, and number 9 will be Chuck. Let's see, what do we got in here? I think they're all the same, aren't they? Okay, so, and we'll do this one, number 9 for Chuck. Because Chuck's a kid at heart. We'll do that one as number 9. That'll be for you, Chuck. Okay, 8 for the kids. I see 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, only 9. Oh, is there? Oh, is there? Oh, well, we're not doing any. We don't have no bonus content today. Tomorrow we'll be doing our Hall of Fame Friday We got a Fairfield we'll be opening tomorrow. I don't have any other products. Well, yeah, we can do some other product. If we get at least 15 thumbs up, we can open up another package of the score treats. We can do another package of the score treats. Let me do a real quick update here. Then we'll do the 2-minute warning at the end. Do we got 10 likes? If we get 10 likes in this stream and 10 likes in the second stream, we'll open up another box of this stuff. Okay. And I see 9 thumbs up. Either way, in the second stream, we're going to open up another box of this. Gives me 2 for the trick-or-treaters later. Yep. Maddie says 10 thumbs up. I show 9. I only show 9, but probably if I do a refresh here, it'll probably go up to 10. But I need people to start choosing packs because we got to finish this stream before 2 so I can start the next one at 2 instead of 3. I don't want to go that late. Trick-or-treaters start coming here early. Okay. So I still see 9, but either way, we're going to open up another box, but I got to do these 9 first. We'll do Chuck's last. Matty Ice says pack 5. Okay. Let's do Matty Ice real quick since we're not getting any for the kids. I'll see God is great putting anything in here, so let me get. And we're just going to open these quick, and I'll sort the stuff later. Okay, see if we can find it again. Anybody picks the short print? We got the Dallas Gobert with the Philadelphia Eagles. We got Audric Estime, running back with the Denver Broncos, and that's the rookie. And Alvin Kamara, running back for the New Orleans Saints. Okay. Who's next after Matty Ice? Who's next after Matty Ice? Nobody wants to choose. I'll just open the packs if there's no name attached to them, and we won't have any people getting any giveaways if we get a. If I get it, I'll give them to my wife. Chuck says number 3. All right, you're still gonna get number 9, Chuck, because you said 9. I think I know what that was for, but that's okay. We've already got it laid out there. So let's see if Chuck got anything in his. Okay. You guys can start putting numbers in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Whatever that's supposed to mean. You can't choose them all there, Maddie. Mike Gesicki, tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals. And we got a rookie. I'll put the rookie on top. You get 1 rookie per pack. Rising Stars, Jalen Polk, wide receiver for the New England Patriots. And then Devontae Adams with the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay. So who's next? Big Ray said number 7. See, Big Ray said number 7. A Mantle Chrome. From the Allen and Ginter. That's awesome. Okay. Go with number 7 here for Big Ray. Okay, I don't think we got an insert, but we got a Ted Higgins with the Cincinnati Bengals. Audric Estime, running back for the Baltimore Colts. Or Denver Broncos. I don't know why I always get that wrong. And then Seth Joyner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, next then was Matty Ice with number 1. Matty Ice with number 1. Okay. Matty Ice with number 1. Derek Stingley Jr., CB, with the Houston Texans. Blake Corum, running back with the Los Angeles Rams. Yep. That's the rookie. And then Alex Singleton with the Denver Broncos. Okay. Matty Ice was number 1. Chuck. Okay. We got 2, 4, 6, and 8 left. Let's open up Chuck's while everybody's trying to decide what they want to choose next. Here's the other one for number 9 for Chuck. Little bonus action here tonight instead of 8. See if Chuck did a good choice here. Okay. What do we got here? We got Mark Andrews, tight end for the Baltimore Ravens. We got Troy Franklin, wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. That's our rookie. And then Ty Law with the New England Patriots. Okay, nothing for Chuck on that one. Big Ray's got 4. Then it looks like Matty Ice has 6. Okay. Right. So next up we've got is Natrone Means, running back for the San Diego Chargers. And we got Bo Nix, quarterback for the Denver Broncos, rookie card. And then the green one is Howie Long, defensive end with the Oakland Raiders. So he must be a Hall of Famer or something. Right. Next up is 6 is Matty Ice. 6 is Matty Ice. You're up, Chuck. Up, Chuck. I know what I said. Up, Chuck. Chuck was up. Yes, I know what up, Chuck means. Right. Here you go, Matty, and Chuck will get the last one. Chuck will be the last one up. Jamal Williams, running back with the New Orleans Saints. Then we've got Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver with the Arizona Cardinals. And then our last one is Myles Garrett, defensive end with the Cleveland Browns. Right? And then we had number 8? Some Tum Mong. Oh no, 7 was already picked. But there's some Tim Wong. Hang in this for a second here, and you'll be here for the 2-minute warning. Wait, Jamal Russell was a Texas Ranger AA player. Jamal Russell? I guess they, no, okay, that wasn't. Oh, we got a Seattle Seahawk here. Kenneth Walker III. Kenneth Walker III, the green. Then we got Bucky Irving, running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then we've got Deron Bland, that cornerback, circle back. I don't know what that CB is. Cornerback? Probably cornerback, right? And then the last one was Chuck Nasty Sports. It's going to end the stream here. And we'll do the 2-minute warning. Oh boy. I don't know. We're going to be cutting it close for 2. Might go for 2:10. I need a couple minutes to get things ready here in the background. So I will go live within 5 to 10 minutes after we end this stream, okay? Because I don't want to wait till 3 o'clock. Maybe we'll make it 2:15. Rising Stars, Roman Wilson, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Jameer Gibbs, running back with the Detroit Lions. And then Travis Etienne Jr., running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there we go. Let's get this 2-minute warning on the roll here. Okay. All right, we got the 2-minute warning going right now at 1:58. At 2 o'clock, we will end the 2-minute warning. Okay. Yeah, it's 1:59 now, so we got just less than. So we got Halloween officially starts in our neighborhood in 2 minutes. Rainy out. Bunch of wet, stinky rugrats. Big Ray. Big Ray. You got a 2 there. You got a 2. Matty Ice has got a +2. Some Tim Wong is here. With a 2+. Okay. And as soon as my computer says 2 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and end the stream, okay? I got everybody logged in here. Chuck's here. I got you, Chuck. Where am I? Oh, you're here at the moment there. End the 2-minute warning. Let's go ahead and end this stream. Then I'll be live here in a little bit for those that don't have nothing better to do on Halloween. This has been, let me turn the camera around real quick so you can see my signature goodbye here. Get this up here. No, not that one. I want this one. There we go. This has been Don Blomdahl, Hall of Fame, Collectibles, and More, with your Hall of Fame biography. Episode 310, William VEECK plus Trivia ×2. Actually, it was ×1. I was going to do both. Then since I did doing 2 streams, we will do our 31st trivia coming up after our brief intermission here. Until then, you all take care. It's been fun. It's been a blast, but let's see you back here in another few minutes. We'll shoot for 2:15, okay? 2:15. So until then, you all take care. Have a wonderful and blessed day. We will see you in a few minutes. It's pronounced Blomdahl. Do it 1-0 Blomdahl. I think I know my name. All right. So until then, you all take care. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes.